Virgo, welcome to the channel. We're going to talk about the first 2 weeks of November and what's coming up for Virgo. So, if you have predominant Virgo in your chart, your rising, your sun, or your moon, even your Venus are in Virgo, or your lover, spouse, friends are in Virgo, or somebody you're experiencing something with in Virgo, your dog, your cat, even, or any other pet you might have that's a Virgo. This is the reading for you for the first 2 weeks of November to see what we have coming up. What is Virgo need to know, and what is coming up in their energy that is most predominant in the field that all Virgos need to know. So let's take a look. This is for November 1st to the 15th. Virgo. All right, I didn't even have any cards, of course, because you're so detailed, Virgo. None came out. All right, we're looking at celebration, happiness, and hope for Virgo. Those are great cards. But you feel like you're stealing it. You're almost feeling like it isn't owed to you, like you don't deserve it. And this is probably something to do with what you've been thinking a lot about lately. So, Virgo, if you've been thinking about what you want to create, I'm going to say specifically, I think that there's a renewal of relationships here with Virgo coming up. I will give you all a warning. I want you to be careful about traveling the first couple of weeks in November. Where are you going? Pay attention to where you are headed. So all of this is basically saying to Virgo, this is going to pop out to me first. It's going to be the most important thing. If you are not staying focused on the nucleus of this reading, which is the star card, to me is a fabulous card. It's talking about celebration to me and happiness. And everybody reads differently, by the way, guys. I don't read reversals. And so the star comes after the tower, and the tower is above you. So I want to make sure that we keep this moving forward. So we have the 17th card here, the 18th, and this is the 16th. And so the star card, comes down to an 8, and 8s are rarely diluted. And that's a great card because that's a sign of infinity. It's a very positive quality. So focus on the faith, on the future, on what could be. That's what this is. But if you're feeling lack of love and fulfillment in your life, and you feel like your hopes and dreams are being dashed, you want to meet somebody special. It says that something here is going to occur that will grant that wish. So the first 2 weeks is about thinking, I'm going to say about right now, what it is that you want to create. You got to stay out of the dirt. You got to stay out of the victimhood. You got to stop the worry about, I'm going to fail. It isn't going to happen. I cannot get my love back. I cannot find love. I can't find that job. Look at the two cards, the nucleus, and look at the root. These are very, very strong cards. Okay. And I feel like what you have is you have lost the focus that people like you very much. And you're thinking, where do I go? What do I do? I can't see where things are going. How do I begin anything? I'll tell you how. Faith. Focus on the future. Focus on what could be, not what you're afraid of losing. If you keep focusing there, you keep mitigating, and it's almost like you're like, okay, I have all this faith, and then it's like, okay, I'm scared, and then it goes back to neutral. That's what I don't want to see. If this is a relationship, and if there's been a breakup, it says that you will reunite with this person, and it could be. And if you broke up in October, it says you probably get back together after the first of the year. And for those of you that might piss off because, and I agree with you, being predictive like this it's hard to do in a reading for all of Virgos. What we want to remember is you can create anything and you can have anything that you want. But if you don't get yourself clear in your head, you sort of delay this till about the time of Aquarius. Can you change it? Well, the Wheel of Fortune is the outcome. You have the Knight of Cups as with that, with the future. So the truth is that you have the ability to shape your future romantically if you'd stop going into old habits and patterns that need to be cleared out. Stop thinking that you don't get what you want. Stop thinking that, well, basically about your past, about what someone did, or but about what you did. And you come back to me and you could say, but he cheated on me, or she cheated on me. She left me for somebody else. Okay. So there's two upright cups here behind this Five of Cups, this person that's still grieving. My question to you is, are you going to focus on that, or are you going to focus on what you can salvage? Do you love this person, or do you love your misery more? Forgive me if that feels really blunt. Because it says when you come from your true source, from your true happiness, from the spirit and soul that you are, and you own that, you will get more of what you want here. But I'm telling you, you have got to get rid of those old habits and patterns. And this is indicating that you're thinking about a betrayal. This is indicating that it keeps you up at night. You might even feel like you have some insomnia. But the Hanged Man and the Moon together are also telling us a little bit about your emotional state. And you had a huge disappointment. Something really crushed you. Something that you counted on devastated you. And you're healing from that. And I will say it's okay for you to heal, but if you have too many emotional, things are imposing on you emotionally, we have to drop the things that don't matter. We have to look at things from a little bit of a clearer perspective. And it looks like that you're going to be forced to do that, whether you want to or not. But it does say that you have to understand that what is going to happen is you're going to get what you want. I want you to be prepared for what's coming your way, because if you're not, and you say, okay, well, I said I really wanted this, and now you get what you want, you're going to be like, I don't want that, or that doesn't look the way. You know what? Prepare yourself, because sometimes when people come back and they apologize to you in the workplace, or you are recognized and you do get your promotion, or your lover or your spouse comes back, or whoever and whatever is happening that comes back into your life, many times you're still holding on to the anger and the resentment and what they did, and you just wind up repeating the same pattern again. The hardest thing for us to do is to look to the future about how it could be the way we want it to be, when we're so busy saying, you betrayed me, you screwed me over. Betrayal sucks. It's one of the hardest things to get over. But we betray ourselves by continuing to think the same things over and over again. And I will say this to you, most likely what you're thinking isn't even right. So this is Aquarius, okay? So the clarity comes in Aquarius. You can change this now and change this in 3 weeks if you want, but not if you're going to be the hanged man, not if you're going to be the sacrificial lamb, the victim, and continue to be confused. And I'm going to tell you, when we get back to March, April, you could get right. You know how your fears come up and you're like, oh, they cheated on me before, or I got screwed over before at work, or I'm not going to get the promote, or whatever. I don't deserve to be in control of my life and make a lot of money and be independent. Okay, you're going to go through another, hello, wake up. Oh, yeah, those are my old thoughts. I don't think that anymore. Nope, these are my new thoughts. You got to get there. It says, I like the Chariot, because the Chariot's telling me that you're moving forward. So these events may be confusing right now, but it says they work out the way that you want them to perfectly. So if somebody, hurt you and they had given you a promise, they come back and they are going, this is an interesting reading, because I feel like this is like a romance reading. And a lot of times these readings don't go this way, but Virgo, astrologically, I need to look at what's going on with you, because this is interesting. Anyway, you have to consider the possibility of entering into a union with somebody and what it would feel like. Okay, what is it that you're going to inherit? What is it that you are going to experience? Oh, my darlings, it is what you create. So please get into a place of faith that you can have. Eliminate these negative thoughts and feelings. Okay. And how do you do that? You got to do the work by becoming aware. You can meditate, you can exercise. I don't care what you do. Please don't drink your troubles away and do things, that'll get you into a situation where it's like, bam. It's like we bring things to ourselves sometimes to wake us up. But if you're going to do that, ask for something that, you can have the answer to without having to be slapped upside the head. All right, so I'm going to layer this reading for you. Okay, we had a card fall out, and let us see what it is. Sorry, guys. Usually they don't go. Ooh, look at this. Good advice from a wise person. So it's seeking counsel in people that are wise, okay? All right. And it's going to have to do with your family matters. It says, so whatever's going on in your love life, Virgo, it does look like it's granted. It does look like the person still is holding on to you. But it says the first thing that you have to do is you have to be able to look at the things that cause the original sorrow within yourself. It could come from your family. It could be ancestral grief. It could be that this is the way your ancestors set it out. This is how your mom and dad did it. This is what you experienced as a kid. But this is exactly what has to be looked at because it keeps coming in. And what you're trying to do is put that to rest. You're supposed to overcome what your ancestors put out there for you. And that is by saying, just because you created that and you told me that I had to do that, and I learned that, I'm choosing differently. So you read books on how people overcame, you watch movies, you watch videos, you figure out how you can do the opposite. And you can show your ancestors and you can heal your ancestor because you will not pass on these traits, of thinking that you're not good enough because it says, you could even have several suitors come into your life. So it's talking about being greedy, about having fun, celebrating, fun, enjoyment, be happy. Not, oh my, it's like when people say, do you want to go to Disneyland? And you are a stick in the mud because you're grieving over this. You're at Disneyland. Be in the present. Be in the moment of Disneyland. And look at this. It says that there's a commitment. There could be a marriage coming up. It says your wish is granted. This is all romantic. My God, I have to tell you, this is fabulous. So you're going to have to practice stepping into the experience of what that would feel like. And you're going to have to muster every single bit of passion that you have, Virgo. Because I'm telling you, you're going to get exactly what you want. It says romance is in the air, but please, depression and anxiety and worry that you're not going to get it. And this is going to be lingering from your September time. It says stop, 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 and stop some more. So yes, you've had people behave foolishly. Yes, you've had discord in your family. Yes, you suffered a couple of months ago, but it's saying, your love is actually guaranteed here. Use your intuition and get rid of and get out of a situation that no longer serves you. And you might think, well, wait a minute, you're giving me mixed messages. Does this mean that I'm not supposed to see this person anymore? No. Getting out of a situation begins with you. When you change, everything changes. And the problem that you have here is that you're not using your intuition as to why you're creating these situations. And so, why don't you take responsibility for a minute about what is actually happening in your life? And you're probably thinking, I didn't cheat on myself. But let me ask you a question. Where have you cheated on yourself? What did you grow up with? What were the messages that you got through adolescence about maybe people that you were involved with? What are your friends like? Can you trust them? Are your lovers and your spouses or whoever you've been involved with, are they trustworthy? These are really important questions to ask yourself because it says you can have what you want. You will be granted a yes if you will own your mind, your heart, and your spirit. And that is when you will step into a firm foundation of being loved for who you are, being able to express who you are without thinking, am I weird? Why can't I show that person who I really am? Oh my God, I'm really scared. No, Uh-uh. It says it is guaranteed, but you have to do the work. And you're going to head into some territory here, that's really, you're going to feel like a fire is raging through you at times. And it might even make you feel anxious. But it says, remember, what this is doing for you is it's helping you own the outcome to the situation, own your life. This is your life. All right, so let's get a little bit more deeply into this. All right, Virgo, first 2 weeks, November 2021. Well, look at that. So we have some really interesting clarification here. Who's the caregiver? Do you feed more of what you want or more of what you don't want? And you'll say, but I want them to love me. Great. How do you love yourself? Are you giving too much of yourself because you're so afraid you will not be loved? And this is going to be directly related to possibly the love that you received or did not receive from your mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a female in your life. How were you taught caregiving takes place? Did they tell you to give and give and give till it hurts? Did they tell you that you have to overgive and sacrifice yourself? Otherwise, you're not going to get what you want, and you're doing that, and you're bending over backward, and you feel like you're eating it. But it's talking about recognizing how you love people. How do you give your love? Are you giving and not getting anything back? Is all your attention focused on somebody else and you're neglecting your own being? And when you ask for what you want, people reject you. And I'll tell you why. It's because you reject yourself and giving to yourself. And you will argue, no, I don't. I want more. Well, where do you give more? And that's the question, because that will heal this. So this is a process of healing. So before you turn this off because this irritates you, because I'm telling you that people don't fill you, you fill you, and then you get what you want, think about this. Because this could be a grandmother crossed over from the other side that's reaching out to you. And what it's saying is the feminine energy is trying to tell you that you're not broken. Love can never be broken. Think about that. And so for you, for those of you who might be stubborn and saying, I'm not going to call them, I'm not going to reach out to them, I'm just going to sit here and look at all of their social media, and I'm going to think into what they're doing on their social media and make things up that aren't really happening because I only see the pictures. It says you may have to reach out. You also want to pay attention to the fact that I feel like you've got spirit guides, a grandmother, a mother, somebody's reaching out to really support you. And it says also, you, Virgo, need to be accepting of the help and the emotional benefits of others being able to give you. How about you sit back for a moment too and accept the support? Sit back and allow yourself to be encompassed in love and loved and feel what it's like to be loved, even if you weren't loved the way that you wanted to be loved. It's a time to look at the way love works for you, okay? This might be a little hard for people, and I apologize, but that's what I'm getting. The outcome is great. You just got to do the work and look at, why do you let people do this to you, or why do you do this to people yourselves? All right, so here's the last part of this reading. And these are, see, victory and success. Oh boy. It says you're dealing with the heartache from the past. It's just what I thought. It says victory and success are yours. So that goes right along here. But it says you have to choose differently, choose wisely. You can have what you want in this material world if you start to feel it in your spirit. You have to know that you are loved, okay? Because it says that there's been mental conflict for you. And so how you choose and the way that the decisions that you make and the way that you move through this world, because you're going to have choices ahead of you. How do you want this relationship to work? I'm not asking you how you want them to act. I'm saying, how are you going to act and what will that look like as they're acting in your picture, your movie? Very similar to the way Neville Goddard lays things out. How you move means that's the action you take based on the choices that you make. So it's saying choose. Here we are. Choose wisely, because those choices will move you into what you want. Remember that choice is your superpower. And there's the card of triumph. I'm telling you, Virgo, you'll get what you want, but you got to stop beating yourself up. You've got to start looking at how you can create a reality that you want to be in, not this discomfort. And if you're comfortably uncomfortable in your relationships, you need to know it's because you're struggling with how you feel you should be loved and are you worthy? So look at that, because I promise you, when you do, your future, it says, is guaranteed a successful outcome with romance and love. You need to change. That's all. And the Wheel of Fortune actually brings that to you because you're saying, all right, I'm willing to work with the energies and make this happen. Anyway, this is your first 2 weeks of November. I hope this helped you. Thank you for listening. And if you look at the link below, you can book a private reading with me on my website. I look forward to you coming back for the last 2 weeks of November. Have a great day.